The greatest mass migration crisis in American history. What we are seeing happen now at the southern border goes beyond anything that I have ever seen as either a journalist or an intelligence officer for the state of Texas, in terms of the utter pandemonium, utter chaos, and the numbers that are coming across. I have spent the last 2 years with the migrants. I've been at their campfires, I've been at their hotels, I've been on the ground as they're moving in vehicles and buses on their way to the American border by the thousands, from one end of the border to the other and all the way down through Central America and Mexico. I've written 2 books, America's Covert Border War, and I've written Overrun, which is about this particular border crisis now. The purpose of the book is to frame this in not just numbers, but in the human story of what's happening here, because these are real people that are coming. This is an impact that will transform America. These books are my way of communicating between the immigrants and the lawmakers and their bills and their policies. I can come to the table with a totality of this situation and bring a ground truth to my audiences that very, very few people actually have. The purpose of journalism is to educate the citizenry so that they can make good decisions, so they can vote, so they can debate a topic. So you got to have information, you have to have education. Somebody has to provide that. Hi, I'm standing at a bus stop at about 20 miles south of the Nicaraguan border inside Costa Rica. Border security is a very important story to all Americans, and I don't think it gets told enough. It's not told well, and it's not told thoroughly.
Joining me right now is Center for Immigration Studies, Senior National Security Fellow and author of Overrun. Todd Bensman is here.
The entire world, 120 countries plus, are heading through what they call the Darien Gap, out of Colombia into Panama and on up.
I appreciate, Todd, the facts you just brought to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Center for Immigration Studies just exposed this in one of the most important investigations from the border in a long time.
Turn now and recognize Mr. Bensman for 5 minutes.
Chairman Perry and members of the caucus, thank you for inviting me here to discuss the most historic mass migration crisis ever to have stricken the United States. In addition, I spent a lot of time with lawmakers and policymakers who are trying to address these issues at the border. And I'm able to take the totality of what they're telling me with what I'm picking up on the ground in the field and bring it all together as one package to make my audiences understand what's actually happening. We're following that smuggler van by permission. This is a trail that goes right over the Nicaraguan border. La Bestia, right?
La Bestia.
La Bestia.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Piedras Negras. I think I bring that excitement and interest and passion to the audiences. The feedback I get the most from my audiences, Todd, nobody else is telling us this. We are getting this from nowhere else.
¿Cómo estás? Mi amigo. I'm going to the border of the United States and Mexico.
And what are you going to do there?
I'm going to stay there.
You know, people are coming up to me and just saying, thank you so much for doing what you do. People are really hungry to know what's really happening. This is the Rio Suchiate River, and they're not getting it through normal news media. 5 million people hit that border. That means that if nothing changes, we're going to have another 5 million. I mean, nothing like this has ever happened. And if audiences really want to cut through to the ground truth, then let's talk.